So like I said, we need this leftist analysis of capitalism, because unfortunately what will happen is extremists, these more extreme right-wing fascist movements, they have a sort of fake analysis of capitalism, in the sense that they recognize that people are struggling. They recognize that the working class is hurting and is looking for answers. But again, instead of pointing people to capitalism being the problem, they're the henchmen, they're the cronies of capitalism, and so they drive hatred and blame of others, and really are used by the ruling class and the capitalist class to try to maintain the system, to maintain power, instead of allowing it to transition to something that's better than capitalism. So we have to be very careful when we're criticizing capitalism, that we're not just criticizing capitalism, but we're also presenting a leftist vision of what should replace it, because otherwise you could have a scarier version replace it, right? So we have to have this socialist vision instead.
And I think it's really important to understand why we need to have this positive leftist vision and this leftist analysis of capitalism, because the working class, the normal people in the world, are experiencing capitalism, right? And they're experiencing the oppression, and they're experiencing the exploitation, and they're experiencing the everyday violence of capitalism, right? So they're aware there's a problem, right? And they're searching for, and they're often searching for solutions. And why we have to be upfront with a positive solution, with a proactive solution, with a vision, as well as being able to use our leftist analysis to connect the dots and to help them see the larger picture, is because it is very, very, very easy to fall into conspiracy theories that explain it. It's very easy to take a shortcut. It's very easy to make up words like anarcho-capitalism, right? Which in and of itself is an oxymoron. It shows a lack of understanding of both the word anarchism and the word capitalism, right? Anarchism isn't a hatred of the state. Anarchism is in opposition to any and all hierarchy, right? And it's in opposition to hierarchical organizations of power. Capitalism, by definition, is a hierarchical organization of power, right? Based on wealth and control of capital, right? Dark Princess, my proof is I literally have a degree in political philosophy. So, that's what it is. What you're doing is throwing around words like anarcho-capitalism that don't mean anything. They're made up by racist white men to kind of shield libertarianism and make it a little more edgy than it already is, right? So it's really important that we have a socialist solution and that we're out there talking to people and putting it on the floor, right? Because if we don't, name one anarchist philosopher, the founder of libertarianism, who you probably don't know, but his name's Proudhon, and he wrote an essay called "What is Theft? What is Property?" And he declared property was theft. Ooh, and bye anti-Semitism. So Dark Princess is gone. Right, but we have to make sure that we're putting this positive view out, right? If we're not, they're going to get pulled in by the racist right? They're going to get pulled in by this othering. They're going to get pulled in with this idea that it was the Illuminati. If we blame this small number of individuals, right? If we blame individuals, then we miss the point and we'll never solve the problem, because the problem is systemic, right? The problem isn't people. People are bad. There are some horrible, horrible people in the world, right? There are some horrible capitalists in the world. But if Jeff Bezos was gone, if Elon Musk was gone, someone else would happily step into their place, because the problem isn't Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. The problem is capitalism. So we've got to make sure that we're putting out this positive, leftist view, this critical leftist analysis of capitalism, and getting it out to the working class who are suffering. Because, I grew up in a rural area, and I can say they're falling into the Trump, racism, because it's the only thing being offered to them, right? Their communities are falling apart. They're losing their farms. Across the board, they're suffering. And the only people there are reactionary right-wing Republicans telling them that, it's immigrants, or it's, urban, a million racist code words, for the urban rural divide. So if we're not there with this positive vision, we give those people up. So it's really critical that we have this. Socialism isn't just about tearing down, right? It's about building something new. It's about building something better. It's about building something beautiful. So I got way off track there. That we were supposed to not do.
That's okay. I think we're doing better than last time. So, I agree with everything Chris said there, that it's very important for us to have our vision and to present that and talk to people about it, because to make sure that the people that are struggling, that are harmed under the capitalist system, they know what the alternatives are and they know how to reach it, or they have goals and they know how to reach it. They know how to organize to get there, because otherwise, you lose hope, or you fall into these tropes where you fall into conspiracy that often becomes racist and anti-Semitic and transphobic and all of these different things. And that's partly why we're seeing the rise of so much of these hate speech, and also the blame of things like responses to the global pandemic, COVID. That's now integrated into various conspiracy theories that are all dancing around the real issue. They're trying to explain why things are getting worse without talking about the real reason things are getting worse, which is capitalism.